Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Derwents. Here we are at the finish line for the Rolex Sydney Hobart 2022. And coming in to the finish line, we have Ocean Crusaders. This is the first double-handed finisher. Annika on deck, Tomo on the bow. Yes! Sailing their TP52 that they've brought back to life all on their own with an electric engine. This husband and wife team are about to cross the line to be the first double-handed entrant. Woo! Absolutely epic work from Annika and Tomo Thompson. OceanCrusaders.org. That's where you should head to see just what everything is about with this amazing duo. They've worked incredibly hard to get to the start line, and they've sailed a 52-footer all on their own. Unbelievable. The final TP52 to finish this race, Koa hasn't made it, but this is number 12 to finish, and it's the first double-handed entry as well. We're still live on the Derwent. So we've now done the line honours winners for the Rolex Sydney Hobart, the Melbourne to Hobart, the Launceston to Hobart, and the double-handed Rolex Sydney Hobart. Not that it's a separate race this year, of course. Minnie is just behind, another double-handed entrant. Absolutely glorious. You can see how well they work together. You sick of him yet, Annika? What a legend. Yes. Woo! Getting some photos with Craig from Salty Dingo there as well. Woo! They're rounding up now. They'll get themselves sorted and head on in to Constitution Dock. We will go and catch the next entrant. Which I believe is Minnie, another double-hander, which is just up the ways there. We'll come alongside with Annika and Tomo though and make sure we give them lots of love. So good. This pair are just so lovely. And they work hard, they get on well. They sail together, they work together, they save the world together. Pretty epic. Out of Airlie Beach. Shout out to anybody watching from Airlie Beach. But it looks like Annika's going to jump up on the bow with Tomo there, and we'll get them to turn around. Wendell, if you want a shot of these guys on the bow. They'll go this way and then we'll get them to turn this way. Yeah. Oh. And this way, you two. Looking this way. Lining up. Hey! What absolute legends. I love it. I love it a lot. Hey guys, just letting you know, if you didn't already know, you did it. I got told I'm not allowed to woohoo anymore, but I'm woohooing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get happy and excited. Excellent. All right, let's go find the next boat. We're going to leave Ocean Crusaders here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sticking with us as we continue our run of finishes in the Derwent. Absolutely glorious out here. A sea breeze in the afternoon. More could you hope for? See you soon, Ocean Crusaders. Everybody can put their phones on airplane mode on the bus. You are the best. A long way before. A long way before. Marine is ready. We're going to rip out and meet the next boat, which I believe is Minnie, the next double-handed entrant. I'm just going to confirm this, but we'll get a bit closer and keep you posted. Might just jump in the cockpit for a second, and Marine can turn the camera on me. Hi, how are you all? I'll wipe this down. Hello. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Derwent. If you've just joined us, I need to put my sunglasses on. There we go. Oh, that's better. We've just had the live finish of Jaybird, Ocean Crusaders, the first double-handed entrant in the Rolex Sydney Hobart yacht race. It's been a busy day and a busy few days for us here. And again, a big thank you to the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania. We've got a nice little interview package coming. We went and visited the club this morning. It was our absolute pleasure and honour to be invited to go behind the scenes at the yacht club and to see the radio control room and the race committee room and the protest room. You don't usually get to see the inside of these rooms, and we thank the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania for not only providing this amazing platform that we can broadcast to you from, but also for giving us the opportunity to see behind the scenes at the finish. Over 250 volunteers are involved with the finish of this race. And I know I say it all the time that we need to be grateful to our volunteers, but that is an extreme number and just something that you have to keep in the back of your mind when we get to celebrate and get to enjoy these sailors racing. There are people working so hard behind the scenes to make it all happen. So we really need to give them all a very big shout out as we're coming into yet another day of coverage and yet another finish. It's you know, we couldn't have this race without the sailors, because they are the ones who are out there doing it, and we couldn't have this race without the volunteers who are actually making sure that we can keep the sailors safe and that we can finish the sailors and have that recorded and have results and have records for people to beat and have things for people to strive for. We had the finish. The last live finish we did was for Hutchie's Yeah Baby, and I've got a little package that will come up in a second. There were a lot of first timers on board Hutchie's Yeah Baby, and for any sailor that has done the Rolex Sydney Hobart, you know that it is an incredibly difficult race, and everybody on the dock is saying this was a Hobart that people will remember. There was upwind, there was downwind, there was wind, there was no wind, there was current, there were swells, there were tip outs, there was breakages. And for that crew on Yeah Baby, Hutchie's Yeah Baby, they they basically all went and jumped in and went off the dock because there were so many first timers, and for them, it didn't matter about the result. What mattered was the fact that they'd made it to Hobart. And so we will have a little bit of a package later on today that will talk about the adversity that people face in a race like this. And I think that's why I love sailing so much, because people are continually overcoming adversity. And that makes us stronger people and stronger as a community, which is just fabulous. And I love it so much. And whilst you've been listening to me on my soapbox as we head back down the Derwent, we've come in touch with yet another boat here, so I'll take this camera off the beautiful Marine and we'll bring into focus the next boat that will come into the finish line here. Believe it is Minnie, but we'll get a little bit more of a look as we get closer. Yep, it's Minnie. This is another double-handed entrant. And you can see again, one crew member up on the bow. Perfect. Jibing. Toot, toot. Here she is. This boat is out of New South Wales. It's a Jones 42, owned by Michael Bell and skippered by Michael Bell and Oliver Bell. Sounds like it's a father-son duo. It is indeed a father-son duo, which is just fantastic. Out of the CYCA. I'll read you a little bit about this. Michael Zappa Bell purchased the ex-Catabara 8, a Jones 42 that was originally owned and raced by Don Jones himself, who retired her from the 2001 Sydney Hobart. Zappa's renamed her Minnie in honour of his late mother. He will do the race with his son, Ollie, this year. In 2021, he raced double-handed with his other son, Matt, on the borrowed Kaimea, but had to retire with electrical failures. As a former rigger, Zappa knows boats well and is looking forward to the new challenge. And obviously, they've done incredibly well. And this is just stunning. Father up on the bow, son on the helm. You got to love that. Just glorious. A Jones 42. Michael and Oliver Bell here. They've got about 250 metres to a finish, and I can see a big plethora of boats coming around the point. There's 5 in a row coming up. So we'll stay live for you for this last little stint for day 4 for us of the Rolex Sydney Hobart. Just magnificent. What a beautiful looking boat. I am really attached to the idea of a double-hander. I think it could suit me. If my dad, Rob Douglas, is watching, we've both never done a Hobart. I think it would be a terrible idea for us to do a double-handed. That's just me shaking his head. Look at him.
You'd be better off to take your mother.
Yeah, be better off taking my mother. He says, yeah, nah, not happening. That's definitely not happening. And Dad and I are not offshore sailors by any means. We like sailing one design together. I very much look forward to getting home. As we're a boat length from the finish line, Minnie, Michael Bell does his 14th Hobart with son Oliver Bell. They cross the line, the second double-handed entrant in the 77th edition of the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. Absolutely glorious. This sea breeze is what I love. I love this weather in Hobart. This is absolutely stunning. It was my favourite day last year when we got to do all the finishes in this breeze. I remember Hotspur coming around the corner. It was absolutely beautiful. Hotspur's in, and I believe there's a few protests going on at the moment, so we'll keep you posted on them. But I refuse to sit on those steps this year, so it's just not happening. Not happening. I love being out on the Derwent. And the double-handers are really, really, really good fun. And I'm wondering, back in the box, I've got my amazing God in there. His name is Andrew. And I really do appreciate all the work that Andrew's doing behind the scenes. Shieldsy steering the boat. Marine is on videoing and editing and the French voiceover. And of course we have Wendell on stills and just general team morale. But I think given that we've just seen Ocean Crusaders finish and we've got a little bit of a gap in proceedings, we'll get ready for the next lot of finishes. We'll give a big wave to Minnie here, and we will get ready for the next lot, and maybe we'll line up our interview that we did with Ocean Crusaders before the start. It was a great interview. And it's about to round up. We'll go over their bow and they will round up here. And we will get ready with our Ocean Crusaders interview, head up to... Here's Wendell shooting. Beautiful. And we still got Minnie on the screen here. And we have a beautiful view of Constitution Dock in the background. And perhaps we just stay with this live vision, guys. I think we don't need to cut to an interview. It's not far to go until the next finisher. But here we have Minnie. Well done, gentlemen. Hello. Hello. I bet you are. What a race. He said we're buggered. I think everybody had a tough race. Congratulations on your 14th, Hobart. Congratulations on your third. Father-son duo. I am corrected. Third, Hobart. First is a father-son. Yep. Yeah, there we go. First is a father-son with Minnie. Absolutely glorious. I'm going to just check the tracker now because I can see that we have the next lot of boats and you might be able to see them just over the top of Minnie here as we stay alongside them as they get sorted. Oh, it's Kraken. Kraken is next. Helsel 3, Rush, Allegro, and Mistral. Fantastic. Oh, I'm pretty excited for that. Very excited indeed. I'm just going to get God back in my head. I've managed to grab my headset. God, back in the producer booth. That's why it's been a little bit tricky. I didn't have time because Ocean Crusaders and Jaybird were so quick to rip down here on their TP52. I didn't quite know what to do. Oh my goodness, you've got spray on your face, my poor little camera. I'll just clean you up a little bit there. There we go. Oh wow, got a pilot boat heading out.
Icebreaker.
An icebreaker. Oh wow, there you go. Have fun in Antarctica, guys. I don't think Marina would like to. Marine would like to go to Antarctica. No, she's giving me a frowny face. I'll take this one back for you, and we'll get the next line of finishers. Oh, as we head back up the Derwent, Icebreaker, Minnie, Jaybird doing a lap of Taste of Tasmania. It's all happening here on the Derwent. And I am ready to rock for this next line of finishes, which I believe starts with the Kraken. Kraken. Nice having my producer back. Got my producer back. Juicer back. Nobody's going mental out here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We've not been live for about 1 million hours. Excellent. There is the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania distance. What a beautiful day it is here in Tasmania. Just look at that. I had to go inside and put sunscreen on again. Getting cooked. What more could you hope for? Hi! Sounds like we've got quite a backup of boats here, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll try to stay live for as long as we can. The sun does go down quite quickly in Tasmania. I don't think we're quite getting that late just yet. But we have the Kraken in front of us, then Helsel 3. So here we go with the Kraken. And I am going to give your little camera another wipe. I'm sorry, I know I keep wiping it, but I would prefer you be able to see. But you can see up the Derwent, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boats in view. I met this lovely crew from the Kraken at the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia before the start. I haven't interviewed them. I did have a glass of wine with them. Gosh, the light is absolutely glorious. Wendell, are you loving it? It's going to get better and better, says Shieldsy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our pilot.
Yes, thank you for our pilot. He is lining us up. Look at this.
This is for Wendell. This is your
Wendell is getting this.
Christmas gift.
Merry Christmas, Wendell. Merry Christmas, Kraken. We've got some nice photos coming your way. Look at those boats lined up back there. Oh my gosh. So good. Hello. Lovely to see you. I feel like I'm the welcome wagon. Is that me? Am I the welcome wagon? Welcome wagon. So there are 2 Krakens entered in the Rolex Sydney Hobart. This one is the Kraken 42S, and it's owned by Tasmanians, Mark Bales and Andrew Sinclair. They purchased this Cookson 12, formerly known as Pizzazz, and then Grace O'Malley, and have been racing their renamed Kraken 42S locally here. They've done a number of Lornie to Hobarts. We did the Lornie to Hobart Line Honours winner this morning. A number of Mariah Islands and Bruny Island races. Absolute champs. As I said, I met them in Sydney. Mark Bales is doing his 3rd Hobart. John Wern is the navigator for the owners of Mark Bales and Andrew Sinclair. Mark Bales on the helm with crew Sam Doby, lovely human, Ty Doby, Courtney Howard, David McGill, Paul Nansquawan, Andrew Sinclair and Amos Warren. And here they come into the finish. It's only 2 boat lengths to the line. Absolute champions. Kraken. Can you taste the beer? Kraken 42S! Finish the Rolex Sydney Hobart! Woo! I'm woohooing. I don't care. Yeah, we can. Oh, look at this! Come here! Yes! This is so good! Oh, so good! Yeah. Come over here! Show us your sign! Okay, I think we've got a few too many phones near us. We might have to get away from this rib. I'll try and show you this. Woohoo! Welcome home, Kraken. Crack on, Kraken. I love it. I love it a lot. Go. We're going to rip on out. There's Jaybird. Kraken is home. Fingers crossed out. Signal gets a little bit better here. I might just pop you up in the cockpit, ladies and gents, while I check that everything's working okay. Okay, perfect. I think we got in. Yeah, we just got a bit too close to our old mates at Constitution Dock running their, what are they running? RF Link? Yeah. Just having fun. Helsel 3 to Leeward with no spinnaker. This is going to be fun. Look at all these boats in this mix-up. And I think today shows you it just doesn't matter where you finish in the Rolex Sydney Hobart. Everyone's been through a little bit of trauma. And finishing is bliss. I believe Rush is to windward here and Helsel 3 to leeward. We caught up with Rush before the start. They're out of Brighton Yacht Club. Great team. Helsel 3 are also fantastic. Lots of family members on board Helsel. And it's so close here. Love the finishes coming thick and fast. I love my job. I get a bit emotional about, and I know that I do get very excited, and perhaps I get too excited, but it really is a massive feat, and I'm so inspired by all of these sailors and the lengths that they go to make this happen. I don't take it lightly that each and every one of these sailors has put in a mammoth effort. Whether that was to get the boat here, whether that was to give up Christmas with their family, whether that was to, you know, not buy a car and buy a sail instead. Not the easiest sport in the world. But here we are with Rush, about 1:15 coming into the finish. And Rush overtook this team just as they came around the last headland, quite possibly because they are running a spinnaker. And this breeze is building about 3 lengths for them to go to the finish. And as I mentioned, Rush is out of Victoria. It's a far 40. It's owned by John Patterson. He's doing his 14th Hobart. Robert Case, Nick Fahey, Peter Gardner, Paul Greenwood, Kate Jenkins, Thomas Jenkins, Darren McKay, Andrew McCall, Catherine Oldfield, Simon Tedston and Alexis Valenza come into the finish line for the Rolex Sydney Hobart. And rushes across the line. Woohoo! Great job. They're going straight for that chute. Helsel will be next. Helsel 3. Owned by the Helsel 3 syndicate, skippered by Robbie Fisher doing his 22nd Hobart, and Mike Rose with navigator Mike Rose and Paul Murrah. They cross the line. Jack Davis, Luke Davis, John Davis. Ramada Deep Kerr, Felicity MacArthur, Andrea Mulcrone, Charles Oliver, Oliver Penn, Bruce Perry, John Preddy and Charmaine Tate finish on Helsel 3. Fantastic. Allegro is next. That beautiful dark blue hull. I actually saw them offshore from Cronulla. Great to see them coming into the finish here. Looking pretty. And I have just heard, I believe, about the redress. I'm just going to double check that for you between. There's nothing official on the media channel yet. but it's sounding like 120 minutes was given to Enterprise Next Generation for assistant Koa. That is not confirmed. Absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't mind if somebody gave this to me for Christmas. Santa, may I please have Allegro for Christmas 2023? If you're listening, Santa, and I know you are, I'm meeting Andrew, for those who don't know. He's in the producer box, keeping us going. This is Allegro. It's a Warwick 67. And finished 13th on PHS. It's owned by Adrian Lewis. The navigator is Sarah Lewis. Woo! Sam Hand, Tim Humphreys, Tom Opie, Ben Renshaw, Glenn Skeen, Matthew Shepherd, Paul Wybird, and Peter Young. And apparently the reception is really bad as we get too close to the box end of the start line, Shieldsy. So we might have to try and stay a bit wide. Maybe it's shore. I'm not sure about the shore. Shore. It might be the CSIRO on the shore there, says Shieldsy. Indeed, it could be. Maybe they're doing something untoward. Kidding. They're great workers there. My brother-in-law works for the CSIRO, and they work their butts off to make sure they keep us up to date on. Copy that. Excellent. And I can confirm 120 minutes was given in redress to Enterprise Next Generation officially, which does mean that Celestial are the official winners of the Tattersall Cup overall for the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. Congratulations to Celestial. Fantastic effort. No doubt we'll have a beer with them later. We did have David Chapman out here earlier commentating, and whilst we awaited that result, I know a few of the Celestial sailors were nervous. In fact, they didn't celebrate too much last night. And here we have Sundowner. I think this might be a West Coaster, but we're filming them coming in anyway. To the CSIRO, so we might try and stay outside of the Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Just trying to keep you in the middle of the action and maintain some reception. The reception's getting lazy. It's time for a beverage. Copy that. We are going to go around the stern of this next boat. We've got a bit of a mix of Rolex Sydney Hobart finishes, potentially Launceston to Hobart finishes, and Melbourne to Hobart, the 50th Melbourne to Hobart finishes. So bear with us as we try to work out who is who. But it's all good fun. This is Zephyr. It's like a little phar. Looks like a Lonnie boat. Welcome to Hobart! Great job, Zephyr. I think it's peak hour on the Derwent right now. Copy that. I believe that the next boat that's coming down the Derwent will be Mistral, and we definitely want to stay live for them. And then I think it will be time for us to call our live stream for today to a close. Toy Box are just behind Mistral, so we'll see how far off they are when Mistral finish. Look at this beautiful shot here. The reception is so much better just outside that finish line. I don't know if there's some kind of beacon. Old mate over here with a horn. What a legend. I love it, I love it, I love it a lot. I'm crying. It's so fun out here. My lips are sunburnt. I haven't had enough sleep, mind you, nobody in Hobart has. And I really want a wine. It sounds like I'm a sailor or something. That is definitely Mistral. I can see an orange stripe. We'll go and bring Rupert Henry and Greg O'Shea home. I haven't looked at the double-handed IRC results, but they were at one point sitting in IRC overall #1. But if you haven't heard the news breaking, Celestial will no doubt be named the official winners after the redress hearing was held, with Enterprise Next Generation using effort from that to go and assist with Koa, the TP52, who had rudder damage, and they were granted, or Enterprise Next Gen were granted 120 minutes for assisting Koa. And Celestial will still win the Tattersall Cup, the Rolex Sydney Hobart, in 2022. And that is absolutely official now. I'd really love to do an interview with Sam Haynes if he's around. Maybe we could message Chapo and see if we could organise that. And here we go, Mistral on the bow. Just check the results quickly. And I believe that this boat will be sitting close to the top on two-handed IRC. Yes, they are. They are sitting on top. So this boat will cross the line and be clubhouse leaders on IRC in the double-handed division. Pac-Man will need to speed up a little bit. They are not far behind Mistral coming into the finish. We've just had, how cool, we've just had the double-handed line honours and the double-handed IRC clubhouse leaders in one broadcast. Just shows you how tight this fleet is. So these guys will win their division unless something changes behind them, essentially. Fantastic. This Lombard MC34 was custom built. Greg O'Shea and Rupert Henry are co-skippers. It's Rupert Henry's boat. They've sailed together for a number of years. They've won the Melbourne to Osaka race together. It's a massive race all the way from Melbourne up to Japan. They were the first double-handed entrant to win a Blue Water Point Score Series out of the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia overall. And they did scare a lot of people when they were leading on the second morning of the Rolex Sydney Hobart and sitting in first place. Rupert! Look at that boat, it's absolutely glorious. Driving. This will be our last finish, ladies and gentlemen, today. It's been an absolute pleasure to be out here on the dirt with you. Thank you so much for liking and sharing our coverage. If you have the ability to share it with somebody who may not be following That really helps us out. And we really thank the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania for giving us this platform, and of course Musto for powering our coverage, and me. Woohoo! Oh, no woohoo. It sounds like a lot of people really want to see Pac-Man and Toy Box, and I understand. I do need to drop my photographer and my editor in because I need them to finish work before 1 a.m. So we're going to finish this feed right now and we'll reevaluate. Hopefully we can bring you a little bit more, but I do have to say that my team do need to rest sometimes. So I'm going to be a boss right now and say that we'll end this feed and potentially I'll drop my boss off and come back out again. But let's just say that this will be our last broadcast for today unless you get a bonus. But let's call Rupert Henry and Greg O'Shea into the finish line. They'll be clubhouse leaders in the double-handed division for the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. They cross now on their beautiful Lombard MC34. Absolute ripper of a race by Rupert Henry and Greg O'Shea, and that is just beautifully done. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for following. We'll keep you posted. Stay tuned for notifications in case we do go live again, and we will go live again potentially tomorrow, maybe later today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.